What's up guys, welcome to another vlog. Today is a very special day because it marks the start of two different things. So first of all, it's the new car unveil, which is behind this shutter here, is the C63 S replacement. So for those of you that follow us or who have bought from us in the past will know we had a C63 AMG from factory, took it to where it was with the wrap, steering wheels, performance, you name it. That car went on, moved it onto Exclusive Autos down in Watford about a month ago, and I've had a new car for about a month, and today's the day that we unveil it. So that's one part of the video. The second part is introduction to a new vlog series. So basically we're going to review customers' cars, we're going to review friends in the industry's cars as well, all high performance, but from an ownership sort of standpoint. So when I'm personally looking for a car, I want to know, why should I buy that car over the competition? And also, what is it like to live with? What is it like to use? Because at the end of the day, we all know Ferraris are fast, Lamborghinis are fast, etc, etc. But why buy one over the other? So that's what this series of vlogs is going to address basically. So without further ado, behind this shutter is the new daily weapon for premium Bespoke AutoWorks. So let's see what we've got. What's up? I'm now speaking to you from inside the Nissan Gtr DBA, which is the C63 S's replacement. And I'm just going to talk through why we changed the C63 S, what's good about the GTR, what's bad about the GTR, and what it's like after 1 month's worth of ownership, and just touch a little bit on what the sort of plans are going forward. So, you said in the intro, it's the Nissan Gtr DBA. It's not factory spec, which I'll get into in a moment. But first of all, why did I take the decision to change the C63 S in the first place? So basically, just a bit of background. I had that car from stock, had it a couple of years. I basically took that car to a point where I thought, you know what, there's no point really spending much more on. I felt like for how the car was, we kind of spent enough money and changed the car enough for it to warrant to like demonstrate what we can do as a business. So you know, it was bone stock when we had the car. We did the MSL stage 2, we did the wrap, we did the multicolored DRL lights, we did wide step profiles with the turbo blanket. We also loaded the car on MSS Sport suspension. We did the Android tab. It had loads of custom steering wheels on the car because obviously that's our speciality. And it kind of got to a point where we could either go wide body, which I don't really think suits the C63 S, and in terms of performance we just slapped some turbos on and make it city power, but I think being rear wheel drive limited, it wasn't really something that I wanted to do. And coupled with that, at the moment, this time of filming the video, used car prices in the UK are really high. Obviously the shortage of semiconductors and not being able to get brand new cars as quick as you could do in the past has obviously made prices go quite high. So it was kind of the right time in terms of what we could do with the car and the money obviously I could get for the car to move on to something else. So that car was actually sold to a place called Exclusive Autos in Watford. Shout out to Af and the team. Get my words out. After having the team, great bunch of guys. Really quick process, easy process, clearing content really with the service that I've had. If you are in the market for a sports car, especially C63s, anything AMG, make sure you hit those guys up. It's Exclusive Autos, based in Watford, London in the UK, and they will look after you for sure. That was the decision making on the C63 S. So why the Nissan GTR, some people might ask. So I've actually had a Nissan GTR before. I had one a few years ago, and I've always liked the car. The problem was a few years ago I just didn't really use it, and obviously I didn't really have a business to sort of demonstrate, you know, what we can do in terms of customization. So you know, I was having a look on the market and it was between this, the E63 S and the M5. And I just feel like with the GTR, it's such a big platform in terms of modifications. It kind of made sense for like a business perspective. Like, okay, this I really did just find that, you know, there's so many different sort of GTRs and variants you can find on the market these days. You know, you can buy bone stock, or you could buy something that's 1,000 brake. It was really trying to find a hybrid between the two, and that's where this particular car came up for grabs, and obviously decided to just go with it. But you know, you might say, why this? Why not the E63 and the M5? The problem I found personally with those cars was, everyone's entitled to their own opinion. I'm just going to put this out there, but I just feel by the time you stage to it, put some carbon on it, maybe do a wrap, maybe do wheels, it's kind of be the same as the C63. Where do you go next? What do you do with it? Do you want to spend 30 grand and make it 1,000 brake, or do you want to, you know, spend money doing wide bodies and different sort of kits? It was kind of just like, I didn't really see a long-term plan for either one of those cars. Whereas with the GTR, the platform is so big, you can pretty much put your own stamp on a GTR, even though the platform is like well over 10 years old now. So that's what sort of honed me in on the Nissan GTR as opposed to other vehicles that I could possibly buy. That being said, the search was on to find one, and I found this one. So just a little bit on this car. It's already been tuned. It's had a built engine by the guys at Litchfield Imports. It's dynoing around 800 brake horsepower. It's had a few revisions to the gearbox as well. In terms of styling, it's got the carbon kit on. As we sit in the interior at the moment, it's pretty much stock, but we have got a separate video where I put obviously a custom steering wheel on the car. It would have been rude not to. You can find that in a separate video, which will be after this vlog. Apart from that, it's running a set of ADV1s, a set of Michelin Pilot 4Ss, and that's kind of about it. So it's a hybrid. It's not something that's 1200 brake, and it's not something that's stock. And I think there's quite a good platform to move forward with doing the modifications for this car. So that's why I kind of went with this car. Anyone who's shopped for a Nissan GTR in the past, there's quite a few cars out there on the market, and they vary from how they've been looked after and what they have on them in terms of modification. So it's really about doing your research and finding the right one, and one which isn't going to give you a lot of problems. I'm not sitting here in the car saying, you know, it's all amazing and this one came with no problems. This car did have a few niggly bits and pieces that had to get sorted out, and that leads me on to another thing about the GTR over the German rivals, is that they are quite temperamental. So with the C63 it was fantastic. Stage 2, no problem. It was actually my second C63, so I kind of knew what I was getting myself in for, and I had no reliability problems really. Whereas the GTRs have a reputation of quite a lot of things going wrong with them, so you kind of have got to mother them a bit. I've not long left home and it's still not up to temperature, so I wouldn't even entertain a spirited drive until everything was where it needed to be. Plus it's raining today, so it's not the best conditions, typical UK weather for this time of year really. But yeah, with the GTR, reliability is a lot better in the new ones, not so good in the old ones. One thing I was adamant about was not going for one which was the CVA, which is the 08 to the 2010 reg GTRs, just because of a lot of reliability things. To be honest, I think they ironed quite a lot of potential reliability problems out around 2011, 2013 with a few revisions, so that's really what we were focusing on. In terms of the car itself, I mean, how does it compare to the C63? I mean, some people say, and they'll rightly say as well, they have two different cars. The way this car covers ground and speed-wise is a totally different ball game to a C63 S. Even if I did have one which was matching the brake horsepower output of this one, you're not covering ground as fast as a GTR, let's just be honest. But they can compare in some ways. First of all, I want to address the noise. So, obviously coming from a lot of German cars, one thing I loved about the C63 was that even at stage 2, when it was in comfort mode, you could be in a C220. It was relatively quiet. The ride wasn't that bad, and you could cruise along, and you wouldn't think twice about taking it on a long journey. The Nissan GTR this year, anyway, because let's be honest, it is an old car now, doesn't benefit from those sort of revisions. So it's quite noisy in the cabin, especially when you're on the motorway. It doesn't sort of have those refinements that I've become accustomed to, but it's not a massive deal breaker at the end of the day. I still love the car. I still think it's a cracking piece of kit. So apart from the noise, speed, obviously it's in a different league. This will cover ground a lot quicker, especially now it's modified than the C63 S. hands down. The way this thing picks up speed, puts the power down, gets off, even when you're rolling or off the line, is pretty much ridiculous, to be honest, and quite a lot for UK roads. I'm one of those drivers that like to throw the car around. I really like circuit driving. I'm not really one for doing the whole straight line thing. Okay, it's great having a fast car, loads of power, but if you can't put it into a bend without ending up in the central reds or in a bush, it's not really for me, to be quite honest. So yeah, performance wise, it's a different car, so they can't really compare in that way. Other sort of material stuff like looks, like how is it on the road, it depends what you're after. I mean, I've noticed about the same sort of heads that get turned in this and my C63 S. I mean, the C63 S was a beautiful looking car, especially with the wrap and the red DRLs, which really sort of turn heads, and kind of gained a bit more respect in some ways, to be quite honest with you. But the GTR has got a cult following, whether you're young, old, male, female, people just know what the car is, and yeah, it's like if you've got a GTR, it's a GTR at the end of the day. In that way, that's a sort of comparison there. I'm not going to really go into 0 to 60 and running costs and all of that. I feel like it's kind of been done to death. But one thing I will address is, look at a car for what it is and how you're going to use it. So at the end of the day, we all know Ferraris are fast, we all know Lamborghinis are fast, but why would you have one of those over one another? So why would you buy a Performante over a 488? Why would you buy an Aventador over the equivalent Ferrari? And I think I just kind of want to touch on that in this video. So like I mentioned before, I had the E63 and the M5, and then I'm going to explain why I chose this over those. I think it's important that I sort of address this video from a point of holding the car. So at the time of filming, I've had this car now for about a month, and to be honest, I don't use it every day. It's the daily weapon for the company. When I need to do stuff, bits and pieces on the weekend, like I am now, I'm actually on the way to see a friend. It's fine. For what I use the car for, it's absolutely brilliant. Because let's be honest, at the end of the day, unless this is a dedicated track tool, I'm not sending this car every 5 minutes up and down the road. I'm just not. It's a nice car to drive, knowing I've got the speed there when I need it. I've got the speed on tap when I want to put my foot down. I've got the looks as well if I want to show off a little bit. Running costs on a daily are just like any performance car, in my opinion. And it sort of fits the mold that I need it to fit. I think a lot of cars are really good at being all-round packages these days. So a lot of it really is just about, when you are looking to buy a car, especially this or any performance car, looking at what the car can do for you rather than the reputation and how fast the car is. It's really just about demonstrating what the car's about, really. What's it like after a month? My sort of conclusion is, it's great for what I use the car for. The C63 was beautiful, brilliant car, but I feel like the Nissan Gtr moves it on in a way where I can sort of fulfill my own selfish needs, but also at the same time use it to demonstrate what we can do as a company. So that's pretty much about the car, to be fair, in that aspect. Moving on, what have you got in mind for this car? What have you got planned? So for those of you that have bought from us before or that follow us closely, you'll know that we specialise in custom steering wheels for loads of makes and models of cars. This one has a custom wheel on, but it will be making way for something a little bit more special, and that's not for the exact same steering wheel but different finishes. It's going to be for something completely different. So that's one thing. Second thing is that exterior styling. So like I said before, there's quite a lot of kits and stuff you can do for this car, and I've got my eye on a few which we'll be supplying ourselves, obviously, and then fitting, just to give the car a bit of an edge, and to just bring it forward a little bit as well. So that's in brief what we have in mind. Interior wise, we are definitely looking at some ICE upgrades, so entertainment systems such as the infotainment dash with all the gauges and functions on, stereo upgrades. I did actually sound dead in this car a little bit because the noise was annoying me quite a bit, but only in the back portion, so there's going to be more of that doing. If we manage to capture that on a video, it's definitely something that we're going to put on a vlog at some point. So yeah, they're the kind of plans that I got for the car without giving the game away too much. But yeah, really, I just wanted to sort of unveil the car, tell you why we've changed it, tell you what's good about the car, what's bad about the car. We're at this point, it's only really the noise that annoys me, everything else is okay. And yeah, just to welcome you to the new daily weapon for the company and for our vlogs going forward. So this is something a lot different, moving on again to what we normally do. We normally put a short vlog out there just saying what we've done to a car, whether that be the steering wheel or body modifications or auto electronics. But this sort of video with the Nissan Gtr, excuse me, will launch a new series of vlogs, which is basically talking about performance cars. So this channel is going to aim to do cars like this, McLarens, Ferraris, Lamborghinis, but it's not going to be in a capacity where we're just scraping the car, reading specs and just sending the car. It's going to be in a capacity where we're saying, right, what's a car like to live with, what's it like to drive on the road, how does it make you feel behind the wheel. You know, for this car we've addressed that in this video, and the future videos will be the same as well, because at the end of the day I think if you want to know stats and figures about cars these days, there's loads of information out there, but for me as a customer, consumer, someone who loves cars, I want to know how the car makes you feel. Why did you buy that car over something else? Like, everyone's into different things, so it's always good to get the perspective and to get other people's opinions on why certain cars are better than others, or why they like something more than something else. I mean, we live in a time now where there's so much accessibility in terms of ideas and what you can do and what you can change and the influence you can have on people's opinions. So I think it's only right that we put that across from our perspective, just to sort of give people ideas that they might not have thought of and considered when obviously looking into changing their car. Thanks for watching. Like always, if you do enjoy the vlog, if you do enjoy our content, please like, subscribe and share the videos as well. It helps us massively grow as a company. And yeah, we'll see you in the next vlog, but from a rainy Saturday in Birmingham, England, UK. I wish you guys the best of health, and I'll see you in the next vlog.